start recording and get us started. Let me start sharing my screen too. So today is September 8th already, which is like crazy hard to believe that we're already on the 8th of September. And that just means for me, I'm like, oh boy, I better get my butt into gear here for the month of September. I'm still kind of like daydreaming, I feel like, back in August. So personally, I need to, hone in and get to work. And tonight we're going to be talking about building momentum to just create that consistent success in your business, so that we're not always, needing that kick in the butt or feeling like we need to start fresh and get started all over again. Before I get started on tonight's topic, I just wanted to cover a couple of things, just a few housekeeping items, some friendly reminders. Don't forget, we have the health bet going on, and be sure to be a part of this health bet as a coach too. If you're in a challenge group that's participating in the health bet, make sure you as the coach are leading by example. You're getting those Shakeology posts in there every day, and you can add value so easily when you do that by just sharing a recipe with your challengers. And when they share one with me, I make sure that I love them up for it and I try it out and I shout them out for giving me such a great idea. And that really just encourages others in the group to do the exact same. I always notice in my groups, when one person does something, everybody else kind of, jumps on board. So you can be that force as the coach too. So just always keep that in mind, and be a good example. Be a product of the product in there. And make sure you're also posting your workouts. A little inspiration, goes a long way to our challengers. So make sure you're in there every single day. You're doing your logging. You're sharing them to the group. You're commenting on their posts every single day. Or it's going to die and it's not going to be interactive, and we're going to lose the fun out of this cool health bet. So, make sure you are participating as well. And you are part of the pot too. If you're participating, you get that money too. So there's really no excuses here for your participation as a coach. And it's going to kind of take you a step back into putting on challenger shoes again a little bit, but that's leading by example. And that's reminding us what they're going through. And that's reminding us, how we need to lead by example. So just a little friendly reminder there. And just also, we have our Dream and Believe Academy going up. And it is going amazing. Our new coach training this month. We're implementing a curriculum, a different one from the Bombshell Dynasty, which is Lindsay Matway's team. Lindsay used to be the top coach for years and years before Melanie took over. So Lindsay and the Bombshell Dynasty know what they're talking about and know what they're doing, guys. This curriculum is the bomb. It is working amazing. We have some great participation going on. The ladies are super engaged. It also actually starts out with a preseason that we're loving, because it's not talking about business. Like, we've talked about the business pretty much not, like, we've barely touched on the business. We're just getting to know them. We're making sure they are focused in on their own fitness and health goals. We started jabbing personal development today. So really, we're just getting to the root of those vital behaviors with them, and we're making them realize how important they are without, just throwing out, like, these are the vital behaviors and this is what you need to do. It's just a really nice progression into those vitals when we start the official week next week. So I really love how it's going so far. I just wanted to give you a heads up though. If you are a coach in new coach training and you've signed up for a week to post, we're taking it word for word from Lindsay, but be really careful. There's a lot of posts in there that says like, oh, email Lindsay Matway and here's my email address, or Katie had this success, da 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 da. Make sure you are reading through the entire post as you're scheduling them out, or posting in there before you post, so that you can make those little edits. When I did mine last week, I just had to make a few little tweaks to get those posted up without the Bombshell Dynasty's contact information included. We definitely don't want to include that and confuse our new coaches. So just be extra cautious and careful as you are posting those posts from the curriculum. And the curriculum can be found in our team page cover photo, as well as a doc. Actually, there's just a doc, I believe, I think I did. There's a doc for new coach training, and then within that doc is a link to the curriculum. I think that's how I did it this time. And you can sign up your coaches, and just so we know who's who, and make sure that you have scheduled to post as well to help us out with that. And if you're a part of coach training as a sponsor coach, make sure you're engaging every single day. Make sure you're adding value to those ladies. Make sure you're going in and commenting on their posts and questions, answering questions for them as well. One other thing to mark your calendars with, I didn't type this in, but we are having our new coach kickoff call this coming Monday night at 8 p.m. And anybody on the team is welcome to hop on there and welcome our new coaches. That's always really encouraging. And just to, see them, see their face, maybe introduce yourself, and let them see that our whole team has their back. So anybody's more than welcome to hop on to the new coach kickoff call, whether you have a new coach in there or not. This is the September 411 info here. We have our same awesome challenge pack offers. Pretty much anything under the sun is on sale for $140. So that's great news. That helped us out a lot in August. So I'm hoping that September we can continue to deliver with that. We got Country Heat, Cryo, Hardcore, Trinity Fix, Fix Extreme Size, you name it, it's on sale most likely. From Beachbody this month, we have the September Success Club prize. If you hit Success Club 5 or higher, you get that awesome yoga mat to go along with the yoga retreat. I actually haven't gotten to try the yoga retreat yet, but I have heard some really good things about it. I don't know if anybody else has tried it, but I've heard good things, so I'm hoping to give it a try soon. And awesome, the yoga mat's awesome. It's the official Beachbody one, so that's fun. I've always wanted that. I've always seen it in the videos. I'm like, oh, I should order that. But now I can win it, so that'll be great. And so I'm pushing hard for that for sure, and I'm sure if you're one of my personally sponsored coaches, you know what we have going on as incentive on my page. And I'm sure Lindsay has some incentives going on as well over on her team. So, it doesn't end at the yoga mat. I'm sure that you have other things that you're working and pushing hard for this month. I just want to take a moment. I shared this in our team page. This is my plan for the month. That does not mean you have to follow suit. You can do your own thing, and you can run groups with other coaches. You can do your thing, but this is my plan. I'm starting a free group on Monday. That's something new for me. I'm playing with it. I'm learning as I go. And if it's a success, I will 100% come back to you in October and talk to you and give you some training on running free groups using what I've learned. So stay tuned there. It could totally also flop, but we live and we learn along the way. I won't just try it once. I'm going to try it again over and over until I figure it out, because I've heard amazing things coming out of free groups. Challengers, you're adding value, just being able to connect with people, being able to go back to your nose and invite them to join your free group. There's really a lot of opportunity here with free groups. So I'm really excited to give it a try and to report back to you later on. One other really big thing to keep in mind is our team calls. So they changed to Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Hopefully some more people will be able to hop on next time. The Classically Fit call now too is at 8:30, so you could always hop on there and then jump over at 9 and hop on our call, and you'll have both your calls on one night if you hop on the Classically Fit calls. And another thing I'm changing though is that our Forever Faithful team-wide, like our whole big team, we're only going to actually meet every other week. So we won't meet again as a whole team until September 22nd. I'm going to take the other weeks to just work with my personally sponsored coaches a little bit closer, and kind of try that out so I can be, working with them. My schedule is really super busy right now, with school being back in the swing and grad classes and everything going on. So I kind of need to prioritize my time and kind of work there and time manage a little bit. So we'll only meet as a whole Forever Faithful team on every other Thursday. So we're meeting tonight, and then we'll meet again on the 22nd. And of course, I'll remind you of all this in our team page when they come up, because I know it'll be kind of hard to keep track of, but this calendar is posted in case you forget. All right. Any questions about the calendar or anything I've covered so far? Anything? I just didn't want to move away from that before. No? Okay. Oh, somebody? No? Okay, I thought I heard someone. Okay, just a huge shout out, guys, for nailing our August. This is incredible. The number of coaches in Success Club in August, amazing. And so many people just changing lives all around, collectively as a team together. Every single point is a person, and they matter. And no matter how many points you have up on that board, you impacted that 71 lives that we've changed in some way, whether you have 2 points or 5, or, you know, from there, few and far between. No matter the points you have, you impacted that number. So kudos to all of you who got points on the board in August, and I am fully confident that we will continue to see that success in September. And also a huge congratulations to all of our rank advancements coming out of new coach training in August. That is incredible. Just to see all your names on the big leaderboards too. I'm Classically Fit. We Forever Faithful completely took over those rank advancements in August. So kudos to all of you. Great hard work pays off, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So congratulations, ladies. And helping lives so far in September already with points on the board: Billy, so close to Success Club, Brooke, Callie, Rachel, and myself checking along at the bottom there. But definitely a slow start to the month. I won't be, I'm not going to hide that. Definitely having a slow start over here, but fully confident. We always make it happen, right? So keep pushing really hard this week, ladies. People are, you know, we had a holiday this week. People are kind of off their game, off their schedule. So, you know, keep that in mind and just keep pushing hard. I think people will be back to norm here in the next couple of days, and just kind of settling back into the normal schedule. So that will for sure help. We have to kind of keep those things in mind as we go. I'm going to open the floor for success shares in a second, but I have some of my own to share tonight. Just a huge shout out to Lindsay Maloney. She's actually now officially a Success Club 5 All-Star. That means she's hit Success Club 5 or higher every for the past 12 consecutive months in her business, which is huge. And that is a direct reflection of the number of lives that she's able to touch and change every month. She makes it her goal and her priority every month to set out to help at least 3 to 5 people, and she does every month, and she does with all her heart and all her, you know, everything she's got. So huge congratulations, Lindsay. I could not think of somebody more deserving of that title today. Also, just all of our Emerald coaches, amazing to see all of you ladies move your business forward and reach that first huge milestone. So congratulations to all the Emerald coaches here that you see on this screen. You guys are amazing. I know there's not many people on the call, but does anybody want to share a success share of the week? Something that you're proud of, or something that you've seen somebody else do that you want to shout them out for? Any takers? It can be anything. Oh, come on, somebody.
I'll go, Lisa.
Okay, Rachel, I knew you would.
I'm just, well, first I'm really proud of Lindsay because that's amazing. But I really want to shout out my coach, Brooke. She is still just flawless. Well, Yes, she'll hate me for saying that, but she is. I just am astounded by how much effort and how much energy she puts towards this, both towards me, even though I'm a coach now, and towards our current challenge group. And I think she's just doing an amazing job trying to balance everything. And I think she's doing a really good job.
I love that shout out. I couldn't agree with you more. She definitely is so deserving of that shout out, Rachel. And it's so cool to hear it from her own coach, who just, realizes that she works really hard and puts in a lot of time and energy into making you successful and reach success, and also just impacting others. So it's amazing. Thanks, Rachel, for sharing. All right. If that's the only person who wants to share, I will get on to our topic tonight, how building momentum creates consistent success. So I have this picture. This might be a throwback to you, but the merry-go-round, okay, on the playground. And I actually have the privilege every day to go outside to a playground and watch my students. They make me so very nervous every single day. It's like a mass rush to the merry-go-round every day. I don't know why. They're 4th and 5th graders. I can't wrap my head around it, why they still find the merry-go-round so amusing and fun, but they do. And watching it makes me dizzy and nervous every day. But today I had heard this idea from a call that I listened to just about they mentioned a merry-go-round in passing, and I thought it was a cool analogy and it related to business. But so today I kind of had that on my mind, so I decided to observe and watch my students on this merry-go-round. And as I was watching, I watched the mad rush go there. Everybody kind of just hopped on at first. Nobody really was that brave volunteer to start the pushing. They just hopped on, and eventually, like 3 or 4 of them, they decided they were going to get those 15 kids on there going. So they pushed and they pushed and they pushed, and I watched them. They were struggling, and it was funny because it was like the smallest children were the ones that volunteered to go and push the merry-go-round, while the not so small children sat and watched. So side note, but they struggled. They had to push and push and push to get started. But all of a sudden, they got this like vibe together. Okay. They like started moving at the same foot, and like they were in sync, and they got the thing going and going fast. And you could see them like getting energized and excited because they finally got it going. It was like they had to push crazy hard, but they finally got it going, and they jumped right on, right? And they were so excited. Like you could see it in their face. Like they lit up. Like they had this huge smile on their face. They got on, and they were just so proud. And they were just trekking right along. The merry-go-round was going like full speed. They got this rhythm. They were going super fast. Everyone was having fun, and it was great. And then I started watching some things go on. So first of all, there were some little buggers on there that started dragging their feet, and it started slowing the merry-go-round down. And then, so there was some dragging going on. And then all of a sudden, some other kids didn't like that other people were dragging their feet. So they started there was some tension growing. And 2 of the kids actually started arguing, and I had to put on my teacher voice and say, get the heck off, you're done. Go find something else to do because we don't want any fighting. So there's some tension on the merry-go-round now. Some kids are dragging their feet. Even though they were mad at them, they didn't really stop. They just kept dragging their feet. And then I observed one child completely jump off the merry-go-round in excitement because she saw this cool big spider. I'm not kidding. She's like totally distracted from the merry-go-round. And she then ran up to me where I was standing at the top of the hill, like looking down on the merry-go-round, and stuck the spider in my face. So that was really pleasant. And that has nothing to do with my merry-go-round here. And eventually the merry-go-round kept getting slower and slower. It lost the momentum as just the laws of physics go. It's going to stop eventually if you don't get it started again. And I watched the 3 or 4 kids that were left on there. It started with a ton of kids on there, but as it slowed down, lots of kids lost their thrill of it, and they just jumped off and they went and did other things. But there was these 3 or 4 kids left, and they kind of looked at each other like, we're really slowing down here. What should we do? Kind of just looking at one another like, what's next? What's our plan? What are we going to do next? And finally I saw one of the kids just hop off, and he started pushing again. And all of a sudden the merry-go-round was back at full speed, and he hopped right on, proud again, and they were going. And they were going again, and they didn't give up, and they just sat on there, and they were having fun, and it was a cycle, and they kept doing it over and over and over again. So how does this relate to our business? Well, when we get started, we're all kind of all in, right? We're all on this merry-go-round, and we're all excited, and some people give us a little push, and it's hard at first, right? As a new coach, it's hard to get started. It's hard to find your niche. It's hard to learn everything and training and get going. But once you hit Emerald rank and team builder and all that stuff, you feel really good and confident, and people are messaging you back, and you feel really good. But then that tension can jump in, right? Like the kids on the merry-go-round today. Or you might start dragging your feet a little bit, and it slows you down, right? It slows the whole merry-go-round down. And you could get a little distracted by things, hopefully not by spiders, but there's definitely distractions out there in our business. So tonight I just want to talk to you about how this kind of analogy of the merry-go-round can help you kind of with your mindset this month in your business, and your consistent actions daily that can help you build momentum even when that tension and dragging and distraction comes in, and how you can make sure that you're always building momentum and starting back up again like those kids. And hopefully you just keep a steady pace, and you don't have to stop and start all the time, and you can avoid the tension, the dragging, and the distraction. So here's where I'm going with this. The steps to build momentum. So avoiding that drag we talked about. So I think we've all been there. Honestly, even last month as I went back to work, and I spent a lot. I had the luxury this summer of being a teacher, and I had time off. And once my wedding was over, Beachbody was all I had. It was my full-time job for the summer. I didn't have a summer job. I didn't have classes this past summer. It was the only thing I had. So I really had a lot of momentum going because I had the hours and the time in the day to work and build my business, make my own hours, and really just dive all in. And I came back to work and came back to Virginia, and I came back to grad school, and I realized my business had grown a lot since I had left school, and I needed more hours in my day, but I don't have them. We all have the same amount of hours. So I was dragging majorly because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to manage that. I didn't know, where to go. So to avoid that and to kind of just jump back in. And I think this goes for all of us. We need a plan. We need to make up a plan on a monthly basis. Like I showed you tonight, my marketing plan. I sat down one night and I did that, and I made it work. So you need a plan for the long term, and you need a plan for a week, and you need a plan for every day. You need to know what's coming so that you're not dragging along and you're not falling behind. Okay. So first of all, think about what your next group is. And 2 weeks before it, you need to be building excitement. You need to be amping up your posts. You need to be talking about that specific group in your private messages. So, you need to be marketing that in your posts. That's what you need to be talking about. And then you do that for 2 weeks. And then the last 2 weeks of the month, you can be doing the exact same thing for the coaching opportunity. So, and you'll kind of see that if you look at my monthly calendar. I'm focused on challenge groups in the beginning, and then I switch to that coaching mindset. And this is nothing new, but You really need to make a plan. And know your plan every single week, month, day. Okay, so making that plan is huge, or you're going to drag along. And in that plan, you have to stick to it. There are so many distractions in our coaching business. There's so many, okay? The first one being comparison to what everybody else is doing. How many times do you spend, and I have been there, where I try to spend time on Melanie Mitro's page and see what she's doing and try to figure out a way that I can make that my own. I wasted a whole hour looking at things that other people are doing to try to make it my own, where if I just would stop and remember that just sharing what I'm doing and being myself, I mean, I could save time, but people want to know about me and myself. They want to see different stuff. They don't want to see Melanie turned into Lisa turned into Melanie. You know, they don't want to see that. They want to see you, and they want to see your ideas, and you need to just take ownership in that. So comparison is a thief of joy. Don't compare to others. Don't be distracted by what others are doing. I think Lindsay talked the other day on something in a post or something, that if you are following people that just distract you or suck the life out of you or make you feel gross or just make you feel like you're not doing enough, unfollow them, guys. Don't be their friend on Facebook. Just don't do it. It's self-sabotage every day when you do that. So instead, you need to work through your lens. You need to look through your lens. You need to work smarter, and you need to think about what you can do to avoid distractions. Another huge distraction for me is creating images or videos. They just suck time away, right? So work smarter than that. Stockpile images. If you take a really cool, or if you make a really good dinner, but you don't want to post about it tonight, just save that picture and go into Photify or go into Rona and edit it and have it ready for next week. Write down your ideas. I love the idea of, Lindsay also talked about this. I'm just going to give her another kudos in that post she posted earlier this week. Make a little weekly lesson plan. What are you going to post about each day? What is your message going to be? What quotes can you throw in there with your pictures? And then you can be, making these images in advance, writing down those ideas and getting ready. What I've been doing lately is taking my picture, like when you see my workout picture or my videos, I did those the day before. So, the picture you saw me working out this morning was actually from the day before. That way I can take the image, I can go on my couch when we're done with our call tonight, and I can hang out and relax a little bit, and I just mess around on Rona, and I fix it up for the next day. And then when I'm inspired after my workout, I type up my post and I post on Facebook. It saves me a ton of time. Or I might be inspired tonight. If I have something I want to talk about, I just put it in my notepad in my phone. I sit there, I type it out for 5 minutes, I copy paste it in the morning with the image that I messed around with from the day before, and it takes the guesswork out of it. So keep that in mind. And remember, you can also be using scheduling services like Sendable or Hootsuite. If you're gonna have a really busy day and you have these things ready, you have these posts in mind, you have the images, you have the content, and you want to schedule out before, work smarter, schedule them, and they'll post right to your page, and you won't have to stop what you're doing in your busy day. And I say this over and over and over again, but the best way to avoid distraction and to work for your lens is to have a focused power hour every single day. And find a way to stay accountable with it. Find a way, whether it's posting in your team page that your power hour is done and you share your business activity tracker, or you share it in a private message with one of your success partners. You have to stay consistent with that every single day, because your power hour has all those vital behaviors that you need to do every day through your lens. You have to do them if you want to keep up good drive and good momentum. Because think about it. I think what I see as coaches and I see it on our team, and I see it happen a lot, where you have 3 great power hours in a day or in a week, and then all of a sudden you stop. And then it's like that merry-go-round. Once you stop, you have to get off and you have to get started again, and that starts really hard. And we find excuses to not do it, or find a distraction to not do it. And it's so much harder to get started again than to just stay consistent along the way. And that kind of leads me into my next point, avoiding that tension. And I'm not talking about tension here with another person, or another teammate, or anything in your life. I'm talking about the tension you create with yourself, honestly, because you need to be thinking about what can you do consistently what can you personally consistently do every single day. If you only have 1 hour a day, the only thing you can really do is your power hour, and you should focus on that, okay? If you only have 20 minutes in a day, then you need to check in with your challengers, and you need to make sure they're okay. And then you need to go and you need to add people on Facebook, because that takes 2 seconds, okay? And you need to answer your messages from the day before, if it's a day like that. But you have to show up every single day. But when you think about the big picture, avoiding that tension with yourself, that means that you're not overdoing it either, okay? You're not saying, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and that takes 4 hours, but I only have 1. Don't do that to yourself. Again, that's self-sabotage. Just like when I went back to work, I was trying to do everything that I did all summer that took me all day long to do. I was trying to still do it all. And I had to come to a realization that I couldn't do that at this time in the year, at this time of my life. And that I needed to step back, and I needed to prioritize what I needed to do, because I created so much tension with myself those first couple of weeks of going back to school that I burnt out. I was like drowning, and I was beating myself up because I wasn't feeling like I was doing enough for my business. And it was really hard, and I had to come to a realization that it was really about taking a step back and realizing what I actually could do every single day, and making those lists and focusing on those every day instead of trying to do so much more. So just be mindful of your schedule, of your life, of what you want, and just really avoid that burnout, guys. Burnout just never will build momentum, okay? So just keep you need to take a step back and make sure you can focus on what you can perform and do every day, because whatever it is that you can do every day, you need to do it every day. Okay, you need to show up. So if you say, okay, every day I can do my power hour, then that's your goal. Then that is what you do every single day, and that is consistency, and that's momentum, okay? And what happens when you do that, when you add that consistency and you build up that momentum, you're going to be around when your drive and your momentum goes full force and kicks in, okay? Because once you get going, once it starts and it kicks in, you're going to be back on top of the world again. Okay, you're going to feel your business is going to be successful because you've built these consistent behaviors. You've taken a step back. You know what you're capable of doing every single day, and the momentum's going to kick in, and you're going to be like those happy little kids who are crazy proud and jump right on to that merry-go-round, and they will not be stopping, okay? And if they do stop, they're going to jump off. They're going to start pushing hard again, and they're going to be there, through it all. And our goal as coaches, and we've heard this so many times, if you've been around Beachbody for a while, just be here in a year. Be here in a year. Don't give up, okay? When your merry-go-round gets some tension, or your merry-go-round has people or yourself dragging some feet, or you get distracted, keep your goals in mind. And I hope that your goal is to be here in a year, because if it is, you're going to be consistent and you're going to have the momentum kicking in to really drive your business forward. All right. So that's kind of my thoughts about the merry-go-round tonight. I hope it helped. I hope it gave you some ideas. Just really just take away thinking about what you are capable of personally every day, because you have to be realistic and you have to let that be what drives you in your business forward. Okay. Any comments or questions? And it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about the call. No? All right, well, it's getting late. I'm personally exhausted. I talked to Rachel about that. So we will go ahead and wrap up tonight. But thank you guys all for hopping on. I'll be sure to get this recording posted to you as soon as possible. And I hope you have a wonderful end to your week and great weekend. All right, thanks, guys. Good night.